Okay, so I finally got my Beolab 5000 combo set and it all looks in pretty good condition. Not too many scratches. I'll be able to sand that out and give it a nice varnish using spray rattle can, which comes out really good. Just the tuner dial needs replacing, but those are available online. So apart from that, it looks pretty good. All the text is good, the graphics are good on there, so yeah, I'm pretty happy, and it turns on, which is great, so it makes my life a lot easier. So I was trying to figure out how to get this top lid off, the wooden part, and eventually discover that it's actually just one screw holding it on. That's the screw there in between the heatsink. That just needs to be removed, and then you have to just turn it around and it has to be lifted. There are 3 springs, you'll hear them click, and you slide it forward and the whole thing comes out. Now you can see there are some screws holding those boards down, because these boards are on hinges that flip upwards, and you can clip them down, making them a lot easier to work on and to change capacitors and components, so you don't have to unsolder the whole board to do that. So you just have to unscrew 2 of the screws for each side, and then it will lift up and clip downwards. Easy to work on. As you can see, I've got the boards lifted up now and clipped in, and there are a lot of electrolytic capacitors to change. I actually put an order through yesterday using the service manual. I got all the values and put in a full order, and they will be with me tomorrow, so I'll be starting the restoration on the next video. I've also ordered new trimmers for the bias, and that's all really. And the main caps also coming. The one of the decoupling capacitors were leaking quite badly, as you'll see further on in the video. So it's just as well I opened it up and didn't turn it on for too long. Yeah, apart from that, I think that's all that really needs replacing on there. Yeah, and I'll check some of the transistors as well to see that there's no noise, but we'll get to that further down the line. And I must mention that it's never a good idea to power these amps on if they've not been thoroughly checked first, because if you've got leaking caps like you'll see in this video, you are risking a fire and possible capacitor explosion and destroying your transformer and all various other components along the way. So it's just not worth the risk, to be honest. Even if it's turning on, I wouldn't use it at all until it's been thoroughly checked, and at least have the main filter cap and the decoupling caps changed at a very minimum. So there are some screws at the bottom, as you can see, that are holding the brackets down, that are holding the electrolytic capacitors. These have to be removed first to remove the clamp, and then you can unsolder the wires from the caps. And you'll see I've got my whiskey in the background. Nice Glenfiddich 12-year-old. Always goes down well nicely in the early evening. Nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't lift these boards up and down all the time too much, to be honest, because these wires are fragile. So if you can, if you're doing this job, lift the boards and try and keep them up and work on them until you're finished, and then put them back again. Minimize the upwards and downwards motion as much as possible. So we've got the bracket loose now, and there's just a little, it looks like a little the thermistor, which is a basically thermal gauge to measure the temperature inside there, the thermal cutout switch. So if things get too hot under there, it will cut the system out. So if you're wondering what that is, it's a thermal cutout switch. So yeah, I think it's quite difficult getting these caps out, but the new ones are going to be half the size, so it's going to be a lot easier to get them in. And weirdly enough, when I removed this one, it seemed like there was a little asbestos pad on the end. You'll see I'll point it out shortly in the video, which I found quite interesting, but not, I mean, there was a lot of asbestos those days, but yeah, it's only a small amount anyway, I wouldn't worry too much about it, but I'm pretty sure it's asbestos. Let me know if I'm wrong. Now this bracket actually doesn't have to be removed at this point in time. I just decided to take it off first anyway, but you can remove the bracket once the cap's out completely. Now it was quite tight in there, so I had to pull it out a little bit so I could gain access to the pins, just so I can desolder them. Yeah, not that difficult. So I was just marking the negative terminal of each wire because as you can see they're both blue, so I didn't want to end up reversing the polarity. So it's good to make a little mark beforehand, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. So as you can see it's quite tight getting in there, so I think I might extend the wires slightly when installing the new capacitors because they're going to be a lot smaller. So we'll use some heat shrink and make it all nice and neat. Now this is the one that was leaking really badly, as you'll see. And there you go. One very leaky capacitor. A ticking time bomb. Anyway, that's pretty much all for this video for now. Once I've received the parts, I shall be doing some more videos from the beginning right until the end for everybody to enjoy and watch and learn a little bit more. Thanks for watching. Well, I decided to measure these capacitors just to get an idea how far badly they've deteriorated. So yeah, check this out. This is just crazy.